The Speaker recognizes the Honorable Representative Cogen Lipton.
A wise woman once told me that she began each day with the desire to leave more stones on the proverbial pile at the end of the day than were there at the start. That is, to leave things better off than when she found them. And to her, that desire defined a righteous life, a life well lived. Those words of wisdom were spoken by my dear departed sister, Shannon Hope, who lost her battle with cancer this past March and was laid to rest on my birthday. Nearly my entire tenure in this chamber was touched by her illness. And it was her advice, coinciding with her initial diagnosis, that inspired me to even run for office. An unlikely path for a patent attorney, from Alabama no less. And so, 2 journeys began. Hers into the tangled web of cancer treatment, and mine into the maze of public service. Neither of us exactly knowing what the next day, month, or year would bring. This shared experience gave me a unique perspective on my time here and allowed me to view our work through her prism of a life well lived. As we traveled our respective paths, we shared our experiences with each other. I shared with her the joys and frustrations of public service, and as she recounted her own battles, many on this end seemed petty and insignificant when compared to the war she was waging for her very life. There was nothing that infuriated her more, however, than the issue of public education and the wrong direction both federal and state policy were moving, all in the name of so-called reform. Before she became ill, my sister's professional career was centered on students and developing school-based programs to combat systemic bigotry and intolerance. A statement such as, "Our future rests in the hands of our children," was not just a catchphrase for my sister. It was her life's work. And when she said it's all about the children, she really meant it. Sadly, the same cannot be said of some in this chamber. Many of the education policies emanating from this body over the last 4 years are at best misguided and at worst downright harmful to Michigan's children. Spin and messaging aside, we are spending less per pupil today than in 1994, the advent of Proposal A, when adjusted for inflation. We are subjecting our children to hours and hours of standardized testing, which offers little educational value, but returns enormous profit to the testing industry. And it is widening the gap between the haves and have-nots, because one of the few things that these standardized tests can reliably measure is the socioeconomic status of the students who take them. Take steps to reduce poverty in a community, and the educational achievement of its youngest citizens will grow. Instead of pursuing policies that work, during the past 4 years, I have witnessed this legislature spin its wheels debating tenure, mandatory retention, state takeover districts, and the like, all of which represent the failed and tired ideas of the corporate reformers, eager to make a quick buck and causing untold harm in the process. But it doesn't have to be this way. I introduced a bill earlier this session incorporating educational audits and community-led school improvement plans that are both successful and sustainable in improving education for our children. Regrettably, this bill did not even get a hearing, but hopefully the next legislature can change that. What many of your constituents understand in their very gut is that a sound system of community-governed public schools is the very foundation of a democratic society. The founders of this country knew it, and the people all across this state know it too. It is these people that I wish to thank first, because you have inspired me along my journey. I have had the privilege of meeting so many of you along the way. You are my heroes and education warriors. I look forward to continuing to fight with you and alongside of you to preserve public education in this state and across this country. Next, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the people of the 27th House District, comprised of 7 amazing communities: Berkeley, Ferndale, Hazel Park, Huntington Woods, Oak Park, Pleasant Ridge, and Royal Oak Township. Each unique and special in its own right. It has been an honor and privilege to represent each and every one of you these past 6 years. I would also like to express my heartfelt appreciation to Heidi Zabik and Barbara Winter in my office. You both have been tireless in your devotion to the people of the 27th District, and I will always be grateful. Most importantly, I wish to thank my family, my husband Mark, and my children Corey and Celia, who have supported me every step along the way of this incredible journey. You will now have me all to yourselves again. And finally, I dedicate these remarks, as well as my time in this chamber, to the memory of my beloved sister, Shannon Hope. As my journey here comes to an end, I pray that I have left more stones on the pile upon my exit than when I first arrived. Yours was a life well lived, and I hope I've made you proud. May you rest in peace.